Hypocrisy.
What's up, guys? Welcome to Law-Splaining the Interwebs. I'm your host, Nick Rekieta of Rekieta Law, a small law firm in central Minnesota. Apparently, nothing ever gets to work. Nothing ever gets to just work. God. Jeez. When people, people talk about streaming, and it's like, the annoying thing about streaming is that, and I've said it before, I'll say it a million times because I'm going to screw it up all the time. The annoying thing about streaming is that it's not getting one thing to work or anything even overly complicated. It's just that you have like 6 different things that all need to work at the same time. And for some reason, one of them will screw up. One of them will screw up. And in this case, it was Streamlabs, which decided to recrop my camera input. So the source, grabbing the source of the camera through my screen through my camera capture app is fine. It worked okay. The camera was on. It just decided that it was going to resize everything and eliminate all of the transformations I'd done in OBS or in Streamlabs OBS to so I had to reformat them. Otherwise, you would have been seeing like this portion of my head because my camera is sending a higher resolution signal than what OBS is grabbing for this thing. So, thank you. Thank you, Streamlabs OBS. With that note, how's it going? Happy Memorial Day. Happy Memorial Day. It's been a day, I guess. I've got a couple things to run through. Not a ton of stuff, but it's a holiday. Lots of people are home. Figured it's a good time to wrap up the month of March. May? Is it May already? We're gonna wrap up the month of May, and then we're going to transition, if you will. We're gonna transition, if you will, into Pride Month. We're gonna transition into Pride Month. But mind you, only certain people get to have pride. If you are a cis, hetero, yucky person, you don't get to have pride. You can't actually have pride. If you have pride as a cis, hetero, yucky face, you are a hateful bigot. But if you're anything other than cis, hetero, whatever, then you get to have pride. For now, gays, they're coming for you. You're too normie now. You just like banging other gays or whatever. Nope, not for long. Pretty soon, you're going to have some sort of extra aberrancy because your thing is becoming normalized. You're in all the TV shows. You're on all the movies. You got your own. You notice even your super gay icon Ellen DeGeneres, her show got attacked, right? You're not immune anymore. You're not immune. You're getting normal. Uh-oh. You don't want to be normal. Trust me. When you're normal, you don't have your protection. And so you normal gays, you better come up with something to have. because you're going to be toast. You're going to be sitting with us heteros being like, oh yeah, I get it now. All right. Okay. I get it. Do I get to use the bundle of sticks word? No, sorry. Sorry, gays. That's reserved for the people who are not just gay, but they're also, trans, or they're also some sort of crazy diagnosis of gender dysphoria or whatever it is. There's going to be something else. You won't get to have pride soon. It's coming. It's coming. Your month is going to be taken over. So just fair warning. Fair warning. Tried to warn you. First they came for the heteros. Then they came for the gays. And I was silent. Then all of this sudden, Abby hit me with a golf club and I was dead. That's the new poem. That's the new one. So it's, long story short, it's Memorial Day. Here to have a good time. That's all. So, someone pointed out, oh wait, Bainling pointed it out. Oh God, he's already hating. He's already hating. Necromunda Hired Gun came out. What comes out at midnight or whatever or something. But I think it's out now. I think I was misreading. I think it was CEST, and I was reading that as Central Time. But that's not. That's noon on June 1st CEST, which I think was actually 5 p.m. today. And so Necromunda Hired Gun is out. Yes, I'll be streaming it on Twitch later tonight. I played the first level. It seems kind of fun. It seems very Doom-like, but also a lot easier. It's a lot harder to die. So it's probably good for me. But I'll be playing that on Twitch tonight after this show, so that'll be fun. Or wait, yeah. Oh, it would normally be movie night. We'll reverse them tonight, because I said I would play it on release. We'll reverse them. We'll do movie nights on Tuesday, Thursday this week. We just did a movie night on what day was that? Was that Saturday? We did a movie. Let's see what else is going on. Streamlabs. OBS is I think my Streamlabs is still down. Pretty sure about that. I still don't know anything about it. I almost want to make a merch page just to see if that works. Yeah, it's still down. Still no communication. So that's cool. Might be banned. Don't know. I feel like it's weird. I feel like normally if they ban people, they let them know that they're banned at least. Crumbry Law, Twitter wants to sue you. Well, good, I guess. Ben Frail says, aren't they obliged to contact you in writing if they withdrew your service? Yeah, I would think so. That's the weird thing. My Streamlabs account is still there. I can do everything on my Streamlabs. That, like, my account still exists. I can still customize the payment page. I have all of the Streamlabs things. It's all there. So it's weird. I'm fully expecting to get some communication after Memorial Day that I'm banned. But if so, you know what? Here's the beauty. I already have another one. So it's just a pain to get set up and incorporated in this current in my current thing. But if that's the case, I'll just move it over. Have I tried to customize and save it? You asked that last time. Yes. It doesn't. I tried all the things. I even tried setting up the advanced page and saving it. Because I'm a Prime member. But we'll see. I don't know. So, for anyone who wants to send to Streamlabs, I'm sorry. Baneling, I don't have it integrated, so I can't even follow the donations if they came in. I can't do it. So I'm just we'll see. If it's not up, if I don't get anything tomorrow, maybe I'll get it out or get the new one set up. I don't know. It just does not. It's not something I want to do. Changing anything in streaming leads to everything being broken. It's just how it goes. It's a ragtag system or collage of systems made by a bunch of different people that all have to hack jaw work together. So, we'll see how that goes. Okay. Let me grab the early super chats that came in. And then we'll get on to tonight's topics. We'll see how it goes. Like I said, I do want to play Necromunda, so I'm not I don't know that we'll be going super long tonight, but I don't know. It always, every time I say that, every time I'm like, I don't know how it's going to go. It's like 4 hours. Like, oh, I guess we're going to talk forever. That's just how life is. It's sweet. We'll just see how worked up I get. Okay. The Dragon's Treasure sent me a whatchamacallit. He sent me a message. And oh, Siren, yeah, I saw that. Siren, I see your DM and I'm gonna talk about that. We'll piss people off that way. Dragon's Treasure sent a super chat, but it didn't work through YouTube. So he asked me to read it through this DM. So here we go. He says, the T-Man's journey to Anime Matsuri heats up in June. Anime Matsuri is, of course, July 8th through 11th in Houston, Texas. Time to stock up for my biggest con ever with the help of those who made it possible to begin with. Use coupon code AUTIST to get 10% off all orders. So this is with the dragonstreasure.com. It's a haven for tea and anime lovers. I will not be giving Nick any money this time. You hear that, IRS? So he's not going to send it to me. Wait a minute. I don't like this super chat. He's not going to give me any money from this. So use coupon code AUTIST. You get 10% off of all orders. The money doesn't go to me, but instead, he will give it to some random dude at Matsuri who looks like he's had enough of this weeb shit. So I guess he's going to hand it out at Matsuri. So that's fun, I guess. So there you go. He says, that's the Dragon's Treasure, a haven for anime and tea lovers. So I'm not, and Dragon's Treasure says, if you don't read that, I'll start throwing out more tea puns, but I don't think you can handle the brutality. Okay. Jason Alator says, celebrating the last few of my birthday today with some Glenlivet 12 year before I call it a night and watch you before I fall asleep. Oh, hey. Happy birthday, Jason. Hope you had a good one. Thanks for rounding it out here. Very much appreciated. No one important says, hey, Nick, yesterday I was told by my mom that the doctor confirmed my dad has prostate cancer. Can you take a drink for me or rather for him, please? Oh, man, yes. Yes. We'll do a toast. All right. Here we go. This is Kentucky Owl Rye. Very good. Whiskey. I'm almost out of this bottle, which is mildly depressing. To your dad's prostate, no one important. The weirdest toast I've ever given. So there you go, buddy. Good luck with that. I wish him the best, really. Lost Bullet says, what's the matter, Nick? Having some tech issues? I don't think the boomer who lives in a glass house should not throw stones. Axelion says, happy corporate overlord Pride Month. Lost Bullets is just mad because I made fun of him for screwing up the Drexel 5,000 subscriber spectacular. Breck, no, I did not see that. That sounds pretty funny. Fenrir Lycos says, do we still get to have pride if we're hetero but always late? If not, I guess I'll have to be late and gay like you. No. No, and like I said, if you're gay, that is not going to be sufficient for pride either. Yeah. So there we go. There's the opening salvo of Super Chats. Let's see what we've got. Got a couple stories I've grabbed to talk about. We'll cover the Vic story in just a minute. I want to get this one first. This is very important. Okay. All right. This is where we're going now. So, because it's really all because of y'all's bigotry. I mean, I of course am I am a lover. I am understanding of all things. So it's not me. Nothing is my fault. Nothing is my fault at all. But here we go. All right. Aha! Madonna cheers on son David Banda as he models a dress. Confidence is everything. Okay, so Madonna, 62 years old, shared a video of her 15-year-old son, David Banda, having a model moment. All right. Madonna appears to be raising a budding fashion icon. A budding fashion icon. Over the weekend, the Vogue singer. It's Madonna, but I mean, you go to Vogue, like, is that the Madonna song? You got a lot to choose from. You pick Vogue, I guess. Posted footage of 15-year-old son David Banda dressing in a long, flowing white silk dress paired with white sneakers and oversized black sunglasses. The teen looks runway ready as he walks through his home while Snap's famed 1990s song The Power plays. At one point, David praises the look, remarking, "It's so freeing." Confidence is everything. The international superstar 62 captioned the post, which fetched rave reviews from the likes of Kelly Ripa and Debbie Mazar, who quipped, "Oh my God, I love him. Look out, Naomi." All right, are you ready for this? Oh, wait. Nope. Okay, I'm not broadcasting the music. That's supposed to be a man. That's, I said man, that's supposed to be a male. That's supposed to be a male. I mean, maybe women should be drafted. I got little to say on this. I got little to say on this. This is the new thing. Is to have guys in dresses. But do you notice the dress? Like, the dress is cut feminine. Like, I don't know how you cut a masculine dress, but that one's not. It's not cut masculine. It's supposed to move the feminine form. I don't know. It's fucking weird, man. It's just weird shit. It's weird and I'm tired of it. Why are we all pretending this isn't weird? It's fucking weird. Like, okay. I live in what some people in Minnesota call Little Somalia. I live near it. Wilmer, Minnesota has a high Somali population because Wilmer relocated a bunch of Somali refugees here. Thousands of them. And they make up a significant portion of the Wilmer area. I have seen the dudes who wear they wear a Muslim garb that is for men, but it's like a robe, right? I mean, I guess by definition it might be a dress too. I guess by definition it would be a dress. It's open at the bottom. There's no pant like leg. There's no separation there. It's just a thing. But it doesn't look feminine. It doesn't look feminine. It looks like a masculine garb that is being worn by someone that just happens to not have a separation for the legs of the thing. It's like a robe, right? Like, have you guys seen this? I look at those and I see people walking around in them at Walmart or whatever, and it's like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, it's fine. Doesn't bother me. This is a fucking dress, though. This is a female dress that they slapped on a 15-year-old boy to model. This is weird shit. The people doing this is weird. And the problem is not that it happened once. The problem is that it's happening constantly. And this is the shift. If any of my kids come home in a dress, we're going to have some words like, hey, Dad, look what I bought. No. Take it back. You're going to wear pants or shorts like a man. What is this? And everybody out there in the media is just like, oh yeah, this is great. Put the boys in the dresses. No, don't. Put them in the military. Put them in anything but a dress. Put them in a tank. God, I lost my pants. What do I wear? Try getting in the top of that tank, son. Man, this is freeing. Blam, blam. Yes, that's freeing. Wearing a dress, not freeing. Not good. Not good. This is trash. I'm tired of this. The dress appears to be created by designer and artist May Couture, who Madonna tagged in the photo, May also posted the video to her account along with the caption, "Fly Banda." The dress resembles other items for sale on the designer's website, including hand-painted silk unisex boxer shorts. Unisex boxer shorts? Unisex... How do you have unisex boxer shorts? Like, do your boxer shorts hold your nuts or not? Like, what the what are we doing? Why is this a thing? Nobody on earth is sitting around going, you know what problem we need to solve? Gendered boxer shorts. Whoop. Fuck's wrong with boxer shorts? What the fuck is wrong with boxer shorts? Like, that's not a problem that ever needed to be solved. In the past, Madonna has spoken about the special bond she shares with son David. 2018 interview with Vogue Italia, the mother of 6, shared that she thinks David is more like herself than any of the other children. Sunday Times reported. Related, Madonna 62 kisses boyfriend 27 in birthday post. What he has more than anything is focus and determination. I'm pretty sure he got that from me. He's the one I have the most in common with. I feel like he gets me. He has more of my DNA than any of my children so far. Wait, what? 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 More of... Does this bitch understand genetics? So Madonna is also mother to look-alike daughter Lourdes Leon. Do we have a... What the fuck is... Look at this look! What is happening? What is this look? What the... Fucking hell. Hold on. Where is the scroll bar? God damn it. Well, you can see it. First of all, that doesn't look like Madonna. That looks like something like Madonna is 62, but Madonna was better looking than this, than whatever is happening here. This is a disaster. But this is the fucking shit that's going on. What, did they find my pair of Jinkos from high school in a dumpster somewhere and put them on this chick? What is happening? God damn it. That chick's 24 apparently, whom she shares with ex Carlos Leon. She also has son Rocco Ritchie, 20, with ex-husband Guy Ritchie. Rounding out Madonna's brood is 15-year-old daughter Mercy James and 8-year-old twins Stella and Esther. David Banda, Mercy James, and the twins were all adopted from Malawi. Imagine being Madonna's biological children. Imagine... Oh, by the way. Remember fucking Zoolander? Derelict. They're just dressed in garbage. It's reality. Satire has become a reality. Okay? It's fucking derelict. Shredded jeans. You got those out of a garbage can. You stole them off a hobo. All right. But imagine being one of Madonna's biological children and her saying that her adopted child has more of her DNA than any others. Thanks, Mom. You hateful bitch. Thank you. Here's her family photo. God, look at that fucking face. She looks horrible. Anyway. Oh, God. So yeah. Yeah. I don't know, man. That shit's weird. This shit is all weird. It's weird. It's just weird. It's not inherently bad. It's not inherently good. It's not anything other than it's weird. And everybody's pretending like all this stuff is normal. It's not normal. It's not. It's not normal. It doesn't need to be a thing. No guys are like, you know what I really want to wear? A dress. A dress. You can't even convince me that trans guys are like, you know what? I'm going to be in, I want to be in a dress. Nope. Get the fuck out. Wear pants. Wear pants. That's how God made you. And don't even talk to me about kilts and Roman skirts and all that shit. Nope. Those are all myths. They never even existed. Men were born in pants. Adam and Eve, God didn't make Adam's pants out of like sheepskin or whatever. That was his shirt. It said he was naked. Man was in jeans. Of course he was. Of course he was. Men wear pants. That's what they do. Sometimes shorts. Adam was born with Jinkos on. That's right. And that's why he is now Adam Krigler. Okay. What do we got? All right. I gotta. Holy. All right. Gotta find the post. Here it is. I'm going to pull an image up here. And we'll take a look at this. This is a pretty cool image. Might not make a lot of sense. This image is from San Antonio this weekend. San Antonio, Texas. Here we go. That is a lot of people. It's a big ass line in San Antonio. This is Vic Mignogna doing an independent signing at a shop in San Antonio. I'm told it was a great turnout. Obviously, it looks like a great turnout here. But I'm told the numbers were over 800 people or around 800 people, something like that. Which, by the way, is a lot to show up to a shop in a strip mall for a signing. That's more than most of these people get at conventions. Having 800 people show up is huge. And I believe it's the biggest independent signing Vic has done. I don't know that for a fact, but I'm pretty sure. And I mean, he's done, even since I've been covering it, he's done signings with 300, 400 people. And those are big. those are very big appearances as well as at these. It's one day at a shop somewhere in a town that is, you got 300, 400 people. That's a great day. That's a great day. I won't get into the math of all of that, but that's a really good day. And so having 800 people show up is huge. It's huge. He's doing really, really well at these independent shows. You know what's funny about this is the fucking morons on law Twitter who they don't run businesses. They don't make money. They barely have jobs for the most of them. Same thing with the Kick Vic people. Like, you can tell none of them actually understand how anything functions, but they'll talk about how Vic's career is dead or whatever because he's showing up in strip malls or at a shop or a dojo or whatever. Here's the thing about them. Here's why they think that. Because when they do it, no one comes. And we saw this with KamehamehaCon back in 2019. If you guys remember, or if you weren't around and you don't remember, let me bore you with a quick story. KamehamehaCon 2019, invited Vic, disinvited Vic, re-invited Vic, and then 4 or 5 voice actors spurged out and left KamehamehaCon. They wouldn't do it. The main one being Monica Rial, the rest of them being whiny bitches. Well, I mean, Monica was being a whiny bitch too, but they were completely, most of them were complete no-names, and Monica is Monica. She's at least got some appreciable presence. Now, they set up a convention in a strip mall during KamehamehaCon, and if you had a ticket to KamehamehaCon, you could go visit them for free, completely free with your KamehamehaCon ticket, or you could show up and buy an autograph or whatever. And they had remember, this is 4 or 5 voice actresses combined, and they had less than 90 people show up. Vic, 2 years later, 2 years of this shit, is bringing in 800 people into a shop. That's why they say, oh, he's in a strip mall. His career's dead. I mean, it seems to be alive. He seems to still have fans. He seems to have people who want to show up, who want to see him if he's pulling 800 people in San Antonio. So that's great. Very good news for Vic. I'm glad. If you're one of the people who went to the crowd in San Antonio, went to go visit him, that's awesome. Thank you so much. I also wanted to bring this up to remind you that men wear pants, even when they're gay pants. all these fucking losers would be begging to have 800 people show up to their table at a convention. Every one of them would beg for 800 people to show up to their convention appearances. They would beg to show up 800 people at an anime expo, the biggest anime conventions. Monica, Jamie Markey, these fat fucking washed up ladies would beg to have 800 people show up at any one of them. All right. Here we go. Next, Andrew Bin says it's a jalaba. Spell check. I don't know what that even is. Christopher Baker says, how come a male can't feel freeing doing man stuff anymore? I got hard listening to Corvettes racing today. Yeah. Or get in a Corvette, get in a car and just drive fast, or get on a motorcycle or a 4-wheeler or a lawnmower. Get on anything with an engine drive around and be like, this is pretty freeing. And by the way, when you have a whole bunch of kids, lawnmowers are very freeing. That's time. That's time for you. It's wonderful. Go out and swing a golf club. Go to a batting cage. Go to a boxing ring. Go downhill skiing. Go uphill skiing. Do anything. There you go. Be freed. Freed from that. Freed from whatever you want to be free from. Don't wear a dress, gentlemen. You're getting some feedback in the audio when you get loud, FYI. Well, too bad. I can't hear it. I don't know. I don't know if it's distortion. I'll turn down my gain a little bit and see if that fixes it. No, that seems. But whatever. Maybe it's your feedback. Loric Project says men wear jeans or tan cargo pants with socks and sandals. Yes. Do it. Do it. The Wait 1968 says, hey, Nick, lost a grandparent, a great man, a part of the Peruvian Air Force, and became a legal immigrant, raised a good, hardworking family that inherited his values. Love to everyone in the chat. Have fun and a good night. Yeah, brother. Cheers. Cheers to that. Also, Stephen F., if you're in the chat, you want to repost your list, man, I'll read it off. I was in the middle of something earlier. F for this bottle of Kentucky Owl, too. Dang. To the Wait 1968's grandfather, a great Peruvian man, became an American. Peace to his family. Cheers for him raising a solid brood. Okay. What's next? What do we got next? Oh, okay. You guys ready for your next reading list? Next book on your reading list? Here we go. Maybe someday I'll be able to buy everybody in the chat a copy of this very important book. The Second Amendment is not about guns. It's about anti-blackness. A new book argues. All right. One of Charlton Heston's greatest performances came not in a Hollywood film, but on a convention stage where he electrified a crowd of gun rights enthusiasts. Heston was president of the National Rifle Association in May of 2000. When he spoke at the group's national gathering in Charlotte, the actor described gun owners as patriots who said owning a gun was something that gives the most common man the most uncommon of freedoms. As the crowd cheered, Heston then raised a replica of a Revolutionary War-era flintlock rifle and delivered a warning in his thundering baritone to anyone who would try to take his guns away. From my cold, dead hands. It was a stirring moment because Heston dramatized the belief that an individual's right to own guns is enshrined in the Second Amendment. It's not... okay. The amendment declares that a well-regulated militia is necessary for the security of a free state. They don't even have the quote right. and that the rights of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. I mean, just quote the fucking text. You got almost all of the quote in there. It's a well-regulated militia being necessary for the security of a free state, semicolon. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Gun rights supporters say the founding fathers created the amendment so that citizens could protect their homes from tyrannical governments abroad and at home, which is literally, obviously true. It's the most fucking true thing in this entire article so far. While that interpretation may provide great political theater, it's sloppy history, according to a prominent scholar in a provocative new book. Carol Anderson, the prominent scholar. If you guys are certainly aware of the prominent scholar Carol Anderson, massive Second Amendment scholar. Who? Like, here's the thing. I bet I can't. Who the fuck is Carol Anderson? I'm going to type this in. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Is an American academic. Notable works: White Rage, The Unspoken Truth of Our Racial Divide. What's her PhD in? PhD in history from the Ohio State University. Fucking hell. Just end it. Just end me. In the second, Race and Guns in a Fatally Unequal America, Carol Anderson argues that the Second Amendment is not about guns, it's about anti-blackness. She says it, quote, was designed and has consistently been structured to keep African Americans powerless and vulnerable. Literally the opposite. Literally the exact opposite. This is the most silly claim you could make about the Second Amendment, because the Second Amendment applied to blacks before the Civil Rights Movement did. Like, this is insanely stupid. Kodo Jack says, chat, don't forget to bring out that super straight pride this Pride Month. God bless you, chat, and thanks, Nick, for the streams every night. Justin Tappet says, hey, Nick, I landed a new job as an apprentice fire sprinkler fitter. Just finishing off my bottle of Maker's Mark to celebrate. What should I replace it with? Oh, anything. Other than Maker's. I don't know, man. What do you like? Get whatever you like. Get what you enjoy. I would say, by the way, congrats on the new job. But I would say, if you're looking for something about the price of a Maker's Mark, get some 1792. Get some 1792 foolproof if you can find it. Anderson cites legislative debates from the Founding Fathers and a range of historical records to make some bold points. Let's see the quotes. Let's see the fucking quotes. She says some early lawmakers who supported the Second Amendment were more worried about armed blacks than British redcoats. Yes, some might have been. She said that even after the Civil War ended, many southern states banned black citizens from owning weapons. And that famous line about a well-regulated militia, well, that was inserted primarily to deal with potential slave revolts, not to repel a foreign army, she says. Literally ignoring that a well-regulated militia just repelled the fucking British. Like, it just They had just repelled the British. They're worried not about blacks. They're worried about natives as they push farther west. They're worried about the French. They're worried about the Spanish. They're worried about the British. This is insane. Anderson's book is a fast-moving narrative with plenty of startling statements. She contends that the Second Amendment has never been applied equally to black citizens. As evidence, she cites the 2016 shooting death of Philando Castile, a black man who was shot to death by a suburban Minneapolis police officer during a traffic stop, despite having a license to carry a gun. Yes, that was bad. It was a bad shoot. It was a bad shoot. But that wasn't because Philando had a right to carry guns that wasn't exercised the same as a white man's. It was because, for whatever reason, the officer was spooked and thought Philando was reaching for a gun. In fact, let me just go ahead and say it. If there wasn't a bullshit requirement to disclose that you're a concealed carry permit holder when you get pulled over, the cop might not have thought Philando was reaching for the gun that he otherwise wouldn't have known that he might have been carrying, but he wasn't carrying. He didn't even have the gun. But he had to tell the cop that he was a concealed carry holder because that's the law in Minnesota. So then the cop either was nervous already or got nervous. Has nothing to do with Second Amendment rights of blacks versus whites. This is an absolutely obnoxious person. Some historians say the fear of slave results wasn't the primary reason for the creation of the Second Amendment. Some historians say, the overwhelming majority. What? Wow! This is not... Her book is the minority viewpoint, and I don't mean minority as in black. I mean as in nobody fucking thinks this. That's why she wrote it. It's a provocative bullshit pile of clickbait to sell a book. That's all it is. And this is ruining modern scholarship. It's fucking ruining it. And you can talk to where it's really ruining it, by the way, is in astronomy and physics. The clickbait headlines and the clickbait, not just headlines, but the scholarly research papers have clickbait titles. Because guess what? Clickbait works. It just works. It's stupid. It's a stupid thing that clickbait works, but it does. And it translates across any media where you want someone to pay attention to your thing. So it's happening all over. So she wrote a clickbait pile of trash. Got it. Oh, let me tell you the real reason the Second Amendment exists. So a bunch of fucking morons who watch YouTube for everything they've ever learned are going to go, not because they want to learn something, which you can do on YouTube, but because they want a factoid to share at a fucking bar to try and get into some guy's pants. Because a guy's definitely not saying this who's hetero. But they go, you know that Second Amendment, Eric? That was so they could oppress the blacks. Will you French kiss me in my dress? That's what it is. YouTube is a beautiful tool. It's a beautiful tool for learning a whole lot of stuff. But most people who learn stuff on YouTube are going to I fucking love science or wherever, and they're getting a little tidbit of information because guess what? Learning physics is hard. It's a hard fucking thing, but it's really easy to talk about why some cylinders roll uphill, in certain circumstances because you got a factoid from Action Lab or something. And that's an okay thing to see, but if you notice that's where the real educational content on YouTube is. It's a factoid. It's a snippet. It's something someone can share at a party to make them seem like they know something about some cool subject. It's getting out of hand, and it's pervading American scholarship. Some historians say the fear of slavery results wasn't the primary reason for the creation of the Second Amendment. We have two different articles from different sources talking about that. Instead, they cite other factors, such as a desire to keep the nation's military in check. We didn't even have a standing army yet. Because the founding fathers were leery of a professional army that could turn on its own citizens. Why would they be leery of that? Oh, yeah, England. Anderson's book will add to that discussion, and it arrives at a time when the gun debate is as heated as ever. Mass shootings are now commonplace. It's amazing, isn't it? It's amazing how many mass shootings we're having now that Biden's president and there's Democrat House and Senate. It is shocking how many mass shootings are occurring. It's amazing. Just every day there's 10 more mass shootings. Fucking all over the place. Mass shootings are now commonplace, and the Supreme Court has announced it will re-examine the scope of the Second Amendment in a new case that some say could lay waste to many of the nation's laws. Good. Lay waste to the laws. Get rid of them. Blackwing 02, are we sure that's more just political or just more coverage of them for political reasons? Oh, I don't know. You decide. It's not the first time Anderson, chair of the African American Studies Department at Emory University, has used the past to illuminate the present. She is the author of One Vote, No Vote, How Voter Suppression is Destroying Our Democracy, and White Rage, The Unspoken Truth About Racial Divide, which won the National Book Critics Circle Award for Criticism. Anderson spoke recently to CNN. Her answers were edited for brevity and clarity. I've been told that the Second Amendment was about an individual's right to self-defense and to protect against a tyrannical government, but you say it's also a bribe placed on black bodies. What does that mean? The crafting of the Constitution was a primary concern for folks like James Madison because the Articles of Confederation were not working. When they went to the Constitutional Convention, the Southern delegates made it really clear they weren't going to sign off on any kind of constitution to strengthen the United States of America unless they get the clear extension of the Atlantic slave trade, the 3/5 clause that get more representation they were due in Congress, and the fugitive slave clause. Those were bribes. That was the sign-off for the South to sign on to the Constitution. Yeah. But then as Virginia is looking at this Constitution and sees the federal control of the militia, this is when Patrick Henry and George Mason really started leading the charge. And that charge was about either scuttling the Constitution or getting a Bill of Rights to curtail the power of the central government and protecting the militia. Protecting the militia means that they're protecting slavery. Just made that one up. One of the things that many previous historians have not linked up was the role of the militia in putting down slave revolts. You know what? Yeah, she's right. Historians never linked it up. You just never figured it out. Historians never heard of militias being involved in slave revolts. Never even heard of it. It's weird. In buttressing slave patrols and keeping enslaved black people and free blacks under the boot of white supremacy. Why haven't more historians made this link that you talk about? It's because of several things. It's because of racism. It's because of several things. It's because of racism. The emphasis on the Second Amendment has been crafted as a well-regulated militia in terms of opposing a tyrannical government or stopping a foreign invasion and the individual right to bear arms. That's the way it's been cast in the legal debates. That's driven our historical debates. We've got a weird bifurcation in the scholarship between the history of slavery and the history of the Second Amendment. What I'm doing is saying these things are all happening at the same time. Let's see what's going on. And what actually drew me into this was the killing of Philando Castile. Well, I mean, if you're making logical leaps, you might as well make one, a big one. How did Castile's shooting spark this? Here was a black man who's pulled over by police. A minority police officer, if I remember right. Who shot Philando Castile? Let's see. Yeah, Geronimo Yanez. Geronimo Yanez was the police officer who shot Castile. Let's see. Here is all that white supremacy going on from Geronimo Yanez. Just fucking pretend. Let's just pretend. If we just pretend, that makes narrative a lot easier. If you just pretend. God damn it. Who followed NRA guidelines in letting the police officer know that he had a license to carry a weapon. It was a state law. And that led to Philando Castile being shot dead. And by the way, if you want to know why the NRA should be disbanded, here's one. Here's one. NRA out there. Make sure you tell police officers you're carrying a gun. Hey, how about you fucking don't? If it's the state law, I guess you have to. But if it's not, don't. And that led to Philando Castile being shot dead. And then the NRA went virtually silent with what I call non-statement statements. An NRA spokeswoman eventually called Castile's death a terrible tragedy. Could have been avoided after the group was criticized for its silence in the shooting. Another reason the NRA should be ignored. They should have talked about Philando Castile. They absolutely should have talked about it. And they didn't. Same way they haven't talked about Kyle Rittenhouse. Fuck the NRA. Get rid of the NRA. They can eat shit for all I care. They're garbage. And then journalists were saying, don't black people have Second Amendment rights? And I went, that is a great question. It's actually not a great question. Yes, is the answer. Of course they do. And I went hunting. That was the genesis of this book. There have been a lot of stories about gun ownership surging among black people during the pandemic. No, they can't be. They can't be. They don't have Second Amendment rights. They're not white enough. Tom Bullis, no, I have not talked to Sydney Watson. And if you keep asking, I won't. Not because of you, but because I just won't anyway. It's not that I'm opposed to talking to Sydney Watson. I just have not been booking very many guests lately, so relax with the questioning. There have been a lot of stories about gun ownership surging among black people during the pandemic. And maybe you've heard about the growth of some black militia groups, like one named the Not Fucking Around Coalition. As more black people embrace the Second Amendment, will they discover that it applies equally to them? Yes. Yep. Let's look at it this way. The insurrection that happened at the U.S. Capitol, if those have been black folk, Anderson lets the question linger without finishing the sentence. If those have been black folk, what? Then what? I want to know. What do you got? That's the lie through implication. You don't actually say the thing, and then everybody's left to imagine what you meant and internalize it at the same time because it came from them. Do you think they would have all been gunned down? Oh yeah. Yeah, that would have been a baller move by the Capitol Police. Gunning down a bunch of black people. Can you imagine? They would have all been crucified on the lawn of the White House. It would have looked like Rome. Yeah, up in Michigan, when the white folks were hollering in the face of security forces, do you think it would have been business as usual if they'd been black? Yes! We have a whole fucking year of black people hollering in the faces of security forces. Portland, Seattle, Minneapolis, the fucking Chaz, LA, New York, Detroit, Chicago, Houston, Dallas, San Antonio, Austin. Every single major city in America in 2020 had black people yelling in the face of the security forces. And guess what? It was the same fucking thing. It was the same thing. Because shockingly, most security people and most cops don't want to shoot anybody, black or white. They really don't. Yeah, St. Louis. I left out tons of them. It's every major city in the United States. We have a dual system here. Yeah, one where one group of people gets plea agreements for 30 days of probation, and the other one where people are facing 20 years in prison. And one of the things that courses through our history is anti-blackness and the fear of black people. You heard it in the Derek Chauvin trial, where Chauvin was like, she mimics a body camera video of Chauvin justifying his treatment of the George Floyd. Well, you know, he was a sizable fellow. Chauvin's a manlet. You'd have to cut off my legs for me to weigh what Chauvin weighs. Floyd is bigger than me. Like, Chauvin can be right or wrong without being racist. I don't get it. He can be right or he can be wrong, and in both cases, he cannot be racist. In fact, there's no evidence of a racial animus of Derek Chauvin. Zero. Zero that we've seen. Maybe it exists somewhere. There's nothing. Nothing in the video. You have to decide that he's racist and then look at the situation and apply your theory of racism to the situation to get the answer that he was racist. It's circular. It's also called critical race theory. It's what critical race theory would do. It would assume a systemic racism coming from a police force instituted in the United States, because all police forces are racist. That's the systemic part of it. You assume the systemic racism. And then, because you have assumed systemic racism, you can now go, okay, since I know that the racism is systemic and all cops are therefore inherently racist, and Derek Chauvin is a cop, then I go, cops are racist, Chauvin cop, Chauvin racist. Simple logical step. But it requires the presumption that Chauvin is racist because cops are racist because racism is systemic. Without it, without critical race theory, without that application, maybe that's the best way to talk about how critical race theory works. I've been talking about it a little bit in this like abstract, but there's the concrete display of it. You go, okay, in critical race theory, we look at systems of oppression and we look at them through the eyes of systemic racism. Now we look at the Chauvin versus Floyd video with that lens and we go, okay, if there's inherent racism in systems, then its parts must have bits of that racism. Therefore, he had racial animus towards George Floyd. There you go. That's critical race theory in action. But that doesn't mean it actually worked that way. All right. It is the couple out in St. Louis who pulled their guns on Black Lives Matter protesters who were not on their property. They were on their property. They were also on the gated private road, which is their property. The gated community, gated private communities with private roads. Your association dues pay for those roads. They're your roads. They're not the public's roads. Taxman doesn't come and take your money and then fix your road. Your homeowners association fixes the road. That's literally their road, their sidewalk. It's not owned by the city. It's owned by the people. It's in the way that Dylan Roof was taken alive after killing 9 black people. Yeah, if they would have shot Dylan Roof after he was done shooting people, they would have had a problem. We don't actually allow extrajudicial executions. Would have been probably better, like overall, if they could have just shot Dylan Roof. Sure, but we don't allow summary execution. Here we go. They have Kyle Rittenhouse's picture here. It didn't load. They apparently had Kyle Rittenhouse's picture. They don't say anything about Kyle Rittenhouse. That's just a CNN insert. You got to love that one. What would you say to people who argue the reason the Second Amendment was so important in the 18th and 19th centuries was not so much race but security? Or what would you say to people who argue that? If you were a farmer isolated on the frontier, you needed guns to hunt, to protect crops from predators, and defend your family. I would say that access to guns was not blocked for many whites. One of the first laws passed by Congress, the Uniform Militia Act, required all white men between a certain age range to be part of the militia and own a gun. For me, the Second Amendment really isn't about guns. It's about anti-blackness. Not about guns and the access to guns to fend off bears. What former Supreme Court Justice Anthony Kennedy talked about in the Heller decision when they were examining the roots of the Second Amendment. But what we see, too, during the same period is that, wait, did Kennedy write a concurring opinion in Heller? What? Why are you talking about Kennedy? Does she not know who wrote Heller? She literally got it fucking wrong. This is embarrassing. Like, my brain goes like this. Scalia wrote Heller. I know this in my brain. Scalia wrote Heller. Okay. Maybe Kennedy wrote a concurrence? So I go check. Nope. I'm like, oh, the PhD historian, I mean, I guess they must have, since they're writing a book on this, I guess they maybe researched this more recently than me and went through a concurrence by Kennedy. I don't remember that, but I'll look. Nope. Someone, Porcupine Applesauce says, click the hyperlink and see what it is. You don't even want to know where it's going to take us. To fucking motherjones.com. To motherjones.com. So I guess she's talking about this part with Kennedy in the oral argument. I guess, is that what she's talking about? Okay, yeah, of a mythical remote settler who Kennedy suggests. Mythical! A mythical remote settler. I mean, I live where the fucking the uprising was, the Sioux uprising. I live here. It's like a couple miles from my house are all the historical markers where all the mass killings occurred from the mythical remote settlers who were homesteaders in Minnesota. Just today, I was at a restaurant, and they had a live singer, and he was writing about his best friend, who he and his best friend's great grandfathers were both homesteaders in North Dakota. Like the mythical remote settler. It's a myth now that people were in remote areas settling, had to deal with, like, the natives literally came and murdered people in Minnesota because the North did not pay the natives what they promised them because of the Civil War. That's what happened. I just summarized the Sioux uprising in Minnesota. A couple families completely massacred. It happened. They were homesteaders. Wasn't a city, wasn't a town. It was a small group of people. And by group of people, they're miles apart. And yeah, to be clear, the Sioux Indians were right. They were supposed to be paid by the feds, and the feds just didn't pay them, didn't tell them anything. Now, it wasn't like the Sioux elders who did it. It was some brash youth, some braves or whatever, went out and massacred a couple families. Messed a whole bunch of shit up for the Sioux, by the way. Didn't work out well in the end. But I mean, homesteaders absolutely were not mythical frontiersmen. They were people living on the frontier of society. The U.S. didn't start covering all the way to California. They moved there slowly. But of course, Mother Jones would consider they were You know, they were colonizers, so they're bad. But what we see, too, during the same period is that black people were denied access to weapons because they were black, and it wasn't like they didn't have to fend off threats. Okay. When you heard the Supreme Court case, we'll take up another Second Amendment case, what were your first thoughts? Is that we're going to be in the same traditional loop of, is there an individual right to bear arms, or is this about a well-regulated militia? It's an individual right to bear arms. That's what it is. Because the individual right to bear arms feeds into a well-regulated militia. Because you're expected to provide your own arms in the militia. So, they work together. But that being said, an individual right to bear arms is good for black people. Does the state have the right to control access to arms? And we're really not going to deal with the reality of that anti-blackness is really foundational to understanding the Second Amendment. No, even this dumb bitch, even if you accept the premise that something was done in an anti-black way, even if you accept that premise, nobody on earth reads the Second Amendment to not apply to black people in 2021. And the 14th Amendment would preclude that reading of the Second Amendment. This is a non-issue. It is an impossible thing. There is no fucking way our court in 2021 is going to write an opinion that says the Second Amendment is an individual right to keep and bear arms, but not for those pesky black slaves. Like, nobody thinks this is going to happen. It would be funny, but completely unrealistic. Tina says, I lost my uncle this weekend and now I'm with my brother who's rushed to the hospital with AFib. I'm not much of a holy person, but if you send some prayers my way, I'd appreciate it. I will, Tina. Salud. All right, I'm getting rid of the bot. Go away. But Tina, yes, I will absolutely pray for your brother's health. Absolutely. I look at it this way. After Sandy Hook, nothing happened. How could that be? That could be because of this underlying fear that if there are real gun safety laws, then whites will be left defenseless against these black people. Oh my God! A white fucking moron, a psychopath, takes a gun to a school and shoots a bunch of elementary school, predominantly white children, and it's because of fear of blacks? That they don't do anything? Vienticus Prime, he was automatically reposting what other people were posting. Literally copying stuff. That was definitely a bot. Here we go. I'm almost done with this article because I'm about to smash everything I've ever seen. Yeah, Vienticus, those were thoughtful. He was saying thoughtful things, but they were sent by other people. Porcupine Applesauce, I know what she means, But it doesn't make any sense that white people would be scared of black people because a white kid shot other white kids. That is an absolutely insane position. Also, a lot happened. A lot happened in Connecticut. Specifically, a lot happened after that. Can you even buy an AR-15 in Connecticut? Still, can you buy an AR-15 in Connecticut right now? I don't know if you actually can. Because I know for a while, all of the places that sold them, before it would be illegal, stopped selling them. Oh, they do have a magazine ban. But after that, Dick's Sporting Goods stopped selling ARs entirely. There were several laws passed. Florida passed a law after that to raise the age of owning a handgun to 21. Florida and Washington both did. Washington State, there was a significant amount of movement on guns following Sandy Hook. This is nonsense. Oh, Stephen F., thank you. He says, Sergeant Chris Williams, Corporal Phil Baucus, Corporal Adam Galvez, Lieutenant Corporal Anthony Butterfield, Lieutenant Corporal Randy Newman, Lieutenant Corporal Jason Hansen, and HN, which is Doc Chad Kenyon, 3rd LAR U.S. Marine Corps. Rest in peace. Thanks for sending that, Stephen. I saw it earlier. Thanks for sending it. HimFan8907, it has not always been 21 to own a handgun, I don't believe. Not in every state, anyway. I remember covering the case on it in Florida. Lance Corporal. Shit. Sorry. I'm not a military. Oh, Rick Scott raised the age for long guns and rifles to 21 years old. Okay, there you go. It was after the Stoneman Douglas shooting, not Sandy Hook, which was still after Sandy Hook. I'm not backing down from that position. Okay, you probably heard that the Texas legislature recently approved a bill that would allow residents to carry handguns in public without getting a license. If this standard interpretation of the Second Amendment continues, what will this country look like in 5 to 10 years? Better. Literally better. Much better. A slaughterhouse. It'll look like a slaughterhouse. How many mass shootings have we already had? And with the growing diversity of Texas, I'm not surprised. Okay. Let me preface this. I know what she means. I know what she means. And remember, CNN edited this for brevity. So they put these sentences together, but literally just blamed an increase in mass shootings on growing diversity in Texas. Oh, fire that editor, CNN. That was not what you wanted them to say. We're sticking with it. Hold on, I gotta tweet this out. Nah, never mind. I won't. I was just gonna clip it because CNN is super racist. I read a story that says the U.S. has a gun violence death rate that is nearly 100 times higher than the United Kingdom's. If a visitor from the UK or some other country came here and asked, why is there so much gun violence in the U.S.? Why do so many people have guns? What would you tell them? I would say it's because they hate black people. I would say to look back at our history, to look back at the enslavement of millions of human beings and fear that it generated Unironically, this dumb fucking bitch is talking about someone from the UK, someone from England who brought the slave trade here. Oh, damn it. Listen to these people. I mean, Remember, you cuck, when you guys brought a bunch of slaves to America? Oh my God. Look back at our history of removing indigenous people from their land. And the narrative of fear that might makes right. This bitch literally doesn't know who the UK is. You're talking to, at one time, the largest empire ever in history. The sun never set on the British Empire. Do you want to talk about removing indigenous people and a narrative fear of might makes right? Oh my God, that's literally Britain. That we learned from the best. They're still the tip top. They're the all time. I don't know. I don't get it. Like, this is a PhD in history. Political Latino, stop copying people and tagging me. Like, if you want to say stuff that people are, or that you want to say, fine. Stop copying people. It's annoying the shit out of me. And I'll ban the ever-loving shit out of you. Stop it. Mega Lone Wolves. Says, I find it incredibly hypocritical that you can vote and join the military at age 18, but can't own certain types of firearms or even drink until 21. Thank you. Yes. Thank you, Political Latino. But yeah, I find it incredibly hypocritical too, Mega Lone Wolf. And you can't drink either. And they want to make cigarettes over 18 too. It's like, well, you can go die for the country, but you would think that it would be the other way around. You racist bigot, apologize to Latino. I never will. I've never apologized to a Latino in my life. And that the way you solve things is through the barrel of a gun. Again, you're talking to the British. You're talking to a Briton. Think about the way we depict the Dirty Harry movies, right? Remember that scene in Raiders of the Lost Ark where there's a swordsman who's displaying... Look at this nonsense. This person means this. Remember that scene in Raiders of the Lost Ark where there's a swordsman who's displaying all kinds of incredible swordsmanship in front of Harrison Ford, and Ford just pulls out a gun and shoots him? Yes, he was outclassed by a man wielding a scimitar after fist fighting someone. He had no chance to win, and if I remember right, that was actually an ad-lib because Ford wasn't feeling well, if I remember right. But he's sitting there, he's gonna die fighting this crazy man who's got a scimitar flinging it around. He's like, yeah, blam! Problem solved. He had dysentery. Yeah. You're a historian. You could have learned that on YouTube. Nation had a history of violence. That wasn't in this nation. It was in Saudi Arabia or wherever they were. And in that history, the gun has been used to deal with fear and guilt and the fear of retribution. That history helps define where we are now. Glad no other nations have a history of violence. Whew. Egypt. Oh, it's in Egypt. Okay. I don't remember. It doesn't. One of those sandy places. They're all the same. But yeah, I'm glad to know, though, that we're the only nation with a history of violence. Woo! Not a civilized, non-violent past like the UK or France or Spain or Italy. You've written about white rage in the recent campaign to suppress voting among black people. You've written powerfully about how racism is so adaptable and durable. How do you still have hope for this country? Get out. Get out. Get out. Get out. Go to La La Land. Go wherever the fuck you think you need to be. Get out. Get out. This country isn't for you. It's not for you. If you're this delusional, it's not for you. Please get out. What I also know about this history is that we've always had a large number of people who have fought to make this nation better. It's what we saw in 2020. It's not what we saw in the Civil War. It's not what we saw in World War I or World War II. It's not what we saw in the Korean War, Vietnam. None of them were fighting to make things better. Just in 2020. In the midst of a pandemic, that massive black voter turnout saying we will not live under an authoritarian regime like Donald Trump's, that was significant. The black votes turned... There were more black votes for Trump than any Republican in the past my lifetime. What are you talking about? What? Attorney Tom waking up in the morning. I don't even know what that is. I wake up around noon. But she literally is rewriting the most recent history. And of course, we're now dealing with the white rage backlash to that, as all these states are proposing or implementing these new Jim Crow voting regulations. People aren't sitting down accepting subjugation. That's where our hope is. No. The black vote did not hurt Republicans in 2020. The black vote helped Republicans in 2020 versus the previous black vote years. The black vote was great. Everybody loved the black vote. The Cuban vote is the white women vote. The white women vote is what did in by polling. That's what did in the Republicans in 2020. In 2020, white women. This is insane. That's where the hope is. Wow. I didn't know. Yeah, good night, Tom. Talk to you soon, buddy. We'll get it worked out. We'll get it worked out. But it's I didn't read the article before. I just read the headline. I was like, oh, this is going on the show. This has got to go on the show. We got to talk about this on the show. Secularis says, look back at our history. Enslavement of millions, might makes right. Oh, so you mean every empire that has ever existed since the beginning of time. United States is just the most recent con standing on a pile of skulls. We're not even that good of an empire. We're not expansionist. Our level of colonization stopped in like the 60s. And the colonization through the 60s wasn't even that expansive. Or I guess even it was the 40s. And it was in the Pacific Theater. Like, we're not, like, you could take over Canada just by breathing heavy. Like, what are we talking about here? Oh my God. Super Iron Bob says repeal the 19th. All right, I've got another story, and this one's completely off this subject. I have one more after that too. They're shorter. I'll warn you guys now. This is a sports ball story. Fuck up. This is a sports ball story, but it's a short one. Have you guys seen this this shit going on with Kyrie Irving in basketball? So someone threw a water bottle at Kyrie Irving, and apparently it's just racist now. That's racism. So let's take a look at this. So I'm going to skip here down to the bottom, and we'll work our way up. So Irving, who's had a rocky relationship with the Celtics organization since he left the team for the Nets before the start of the 2019-2020 season, was booed every time he touched the basketball at TD Garden. He may have given the fans some joy after his ineffective performance in Game 3, but Game 4 was different. The point guard scored 39 points and grabbed 11 rebounds in the win. He was 11 for 24 from the field and 6 for 12 from the three-point range. The water bottle incident was what got people talking rather than the logo. We're going to go to the logo in just a minute. Oh, the Celtics. Sorry, the Celtics. I guess. I said sports, fucking basketball. So someone threw a water bottle at him. All right. It's just underlying racism and treating people like they're in a human zoo, Irving said. Throwing stuff at people, saying things. There's a certain point where it gets to be too much. You see, people just feel very entitled out here. This is fucking comedy. As a black man playing in the NBA, dealing with a lot of this stuff, it's fairly difficult. You never know what's going to happen. Let's see. Kyrie Irving salary. His 2020 to 2021 season annual salary is $33 million. $33 million. Kyrie, you are in a human zoo. You literally picked a profession where your performance is entertainment for an audience. You are a human zoo. Here we go. This is he was called out by Kevin Garnett. Kevin Garnett, former Minnesota Timberwolves, also at some point played for the Celtics, who was like, wait, we're going to talk about the water bottle. We're not going to talk about this. Here, check this out real quick. This is Kyrie Irving greeting teammates. There it was. So, if you missed it, we'll watch it one more time. Him greeting a teammate walking farther here. Stomp, slide. There you go. Walks away. I wonder why someone might throw a water bottle at him. I'm not sure why someone in Boston would throw a water bottle at him after he literally goes out of his way to disrespect the logo. Right? And so Kevin Garnett, he says, so nobody going to say anything about Kyrie stomping on Lucky? We're just going to act like we didn't see that? What the fuck is going on? Can't do that. That's not cool on no level. All of us need to... Oh, shit. All of us need to be better, for real, for real. I'm just saying, good morning to all, and all have a great day. Happy Memorial Day. So that's Kevin Garnett talking about it, because the news is not. By the way, the guy who threw, just to show you how racist America is, the guy who threw a water bottle at Kyrie Irving is charged with felony assault. Felony assault. I don't even know what color the guy who threw the water bottle is. I guess we could find out. Cole Buckley. Okay, so it is a white guy. He's wearing a Kevin Garnett jersey, though, so obviously a white supremacist. I mean, here, I'll pull up the story. Here we go. Charged with a felony. Boston Celtics fan. Celtics. God damn it. See, too much Euro history for me. The Boston Celtics fan who threw a water bottle at Brooklyn Nets star Kyrie Irving on Sunday night has been identified as Cole Buckley of Braintree, Massachusetts, according to Boston Police Department. Buckley faces 1 count of assault and battery with a dangerous weapon in Boston Municipal Court on Tuesday. The Brody Biss. I'm not being ironic when I recommend Society. It's one of the best movies I've ever seen. It is a movie that you will be thinking about. Buckley allegedly threw a bottle of Dasani water in the direction of Irving as the Net star entered the tunnel to leave the court following a 39-point performance. According to police records, security located the individual in question. A police officer on detail at the arena arrested Buckley as a suspect. Witness from TD Garden Security told the police the water bottle grazed Irving's head. That makes it a battery. Member of Net Security also witnessed the incident, which was caught on video. Water bottle nearly hits Kyrie Irving. Let's see if we can zoom and enhance on this.
You know, unfortunately, we have seen issues around the NBA with fans crossing the line. Somebody tossed a water bottle.
Boom!
And it nearly hit Kyrie as he was walking to the tunnel. Tyler Johnson noticed it, and the Nets began to point out who it was in that section. There are cameras everywhere, so you're going to see the toss right there. It just misses Kyrie. This is as the Nets were exiting.
Kyrie Irving? That's more annoying than saying Kyrie Irving.
And security began to converge and look for the guilty party. Obviously, completely
okay, we'll watch the zoom up one more time.
And just flat out stupid.
Yeah, it's an absolute shame.
Fans crossing the line. Somebody tossed a water bottle, and somebody tossed a water bottle.
Can I get the
and it
fucking?
Nearly hit Kyrie as he was walking.
Oh my
to the
God!
Tunnel. Tyler Johnson noticed it, and the Nets began to point out who it was in that section. Somebody tossed a water bottle.
I want to pause it.
Nearly hit Kyrie as he was walking.
Why are you horrible?
To the
God, it's fucking.
you know, unfortunately,
video.
we have seen issues around the NBA with fans crossing the line. Somebody tossed.
Ah, it was so close. I missed it, but anyway, you get the idea. They're really the fucking Twitter video interface is garbage. It doesn't matter, honestly. Anything could have happened with that water bottle being thrown at me by my brothers or surrounding me. And not anything could have happened. Anything could not have happened. There are two real possibilities. You could either get hit by a water bottle, which, by the way, a water bottle launched from far away. If the cap is still on, I don't know if it was. If the cap is still on, it's full of water, and you launch it from a high area, it could cause some damage, especially if they get hit with the cap and it's full of water. I'm pretty sure you can't buy a water bottle with a cap in any stadium in the country. I don't know how many of you guys have been to a sports arena in the past couple years, but they sell water bottles and they take the caps right there. They take them from you. You can't do that. But you got two options. You either get shot or you either get hit by a water bottle or you don't. Cinema Queen, why not? That is odd because a full water bottle weighs like a pound. And throwing a pound from a high altitude up in the stands, having it drop 30 feet and hit someone can actually cause a lot of harm. So that's why they don't allow you to have the cap, because now if you throw it, some of that water's going to come out as it's falling, presumably. But yeah, you're either going to get hit or not. Those are the two things that can happen. There's not a third option. I had people in the crowd, so I'm just trying to get home to my wife and kids. TD Garden is cooperating with Boston police and has issued a lifetime ban of Buckley. Hopefully we can just keep it strictly basketball, Irving told reporters. You're an entertainer. There's no belligerence or any racism going on. Subtle racism and people yelling shit from the crowd. Look at the racism. Fuck you, Kyrie. Kyrie sucks. The alleged assault crossed the line beyond basketball, Irving said. Here we go. It's been that way in history in terms of entertainment and performers in sports for a long period of time, Irving added on Sunday night. And just underlying racism and treating people like they're in a human zoo, throwing stuff at people, saying things, a certain point where it gets to be too much. I called it out. I wanted to keep it strictly basketball. And then you just see that people just feel very entitled out here. They're entitled to be there and say stuff because they bought a ticket and you're a performer. You stepped on the logo that night before playing. So you didn't want to just keep it strictly basketball. They pay for their tickets. Great. I'm grateful that they're coming in to watch a great performance. It's not always it's a gamble. You might go to a shit game, but we're not at the theater. You are. You literally are at the theater. We're not throwing tomatoes and other random stuff at people who are performing. It's too much. It's a reflection on us as a whole when you have fans acting like that. These people talking about entitlement. I cannot imagine going to see sports right now. Like the way they are, they're just absolute garbage. All right, one last story. This is not like much of a story. I just find it funny. And good, because this game is garbage. Oh no, my bias is out. Lost Bullet says you could take over Canada, but then you unironically possess Canada, which is a net negative. That's true. No, it's not a Crystal Pepsi. This is Propel. Okay, here we go. CD Projekt profits drop as Cyberpunk 2077 remains off the PlayStation Store. It's still not on there. And nobody cares. This is one of the fastest forgotten, most hyped games in history. It's the most hyped game I've ever seen. Everybody was like, yeah, Cyberpunk's going to be the best ever. It's going to be so fucking good. Nobody remembers this game. I played it for a couple hours. It's so boring. God, it's boring. It's terrible. I mean, they have this big world. Everything in it feels dead. Everywhere you walk, there's people, and none of them are, like, doing anything. It's so dead. Oh, it's so boring. Following a launch that sparked massive backlash from the gaming community, CD Projekt's Cyberpunk was removed from the PlayStation Store's digital marketplace, and those who purchased it were offered the opportunity to receive a refund. The game is still unavailable for purchase from the PlayStation Store today. Their profit fell more than half from a year earlier, Reuters reports. While the company did not say how many copies of Cyberpunk it sold during the quarter, it says that approximately 60% of the first quarter sales came from Cyberpunk 2077. Overall net profit at the Polish company fell 64.7% to 32.5 million zlotys, just below $8.9 million. In a pandemic, their profits fell selling video games. Fuck that. Going in, analysts projected $80 million, but Cyberpunk development expenditures plus work on post-launch fixes have greatly impacted that. Revenue also dropped by 2%. 2% revenue drops on these types of productions are actually very, very big. Notice 2% revenue drop is a 64% profit loss. Like they run on tight margins. Reuters also reports that CD Projekt Red's shares have dropped more than 60% in value from their all-time high value during last year's lead up to Cyberpunk's launch. In March, they said the return to the PlayStation Store was close to happening, but to this day, it remains delisted. The general situation, as long as we are not back on the Sony Store, has not changed. One of the leading marketplaces for us is not available, and we generate most of the sales on the PC digital channels. planning to make some changes to its business and the way it operates. Uh-oh. Everybody getting fired. According to the report, the company plans to move toward a parallel development process where it will create multiple high-budget projects at the same time beginning in 2022. In addition, the company will begin looking for merger and acquisition opportunities. CD Projekt Red is done. I stand by my statement. I stand by my statement that I made back when this whole thing broke out. They were DMCAing people and all that stuff. They're done. They're done. They rested on the laurels of being a fan favorite studio, and they're done. It's really too bad. It's really too bad. I mean, they'll still make games. They'll still be around. They're not going away, but they've lost the status of being like the reliable studio. And it's too bad. It's too bad. Next time, just make the game. Make the game, bigot. Build the game. They've shirked their credibility on this game. So, one more, man. Shout out to Indie Gaming's mid-level studios. That's where it is. That's where it is for me. I don't know about you guys. Like AAA titles, I'm just not excited for them. I'm just not interested in that. I'm like, I get far more enjoyment out of indie studios and mid-level productions. But that's me. All right. Speaking of mid-level productions, Necromunda Hired Gun is something I'm going to play as soon as we get done over here. It's time to read chats and wrap up the show. Let's see. Tina says, when it comes to games anymore, it's either indie games or Japanese developers. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I get so much more enjoyment out of indie games than any of the AAA stuff. Because they do what I'm liking about movie studios. Not movie studios. About the couple good movies I've been seeing and as I go back and watch 80s and 90s movies, things I remember. They're just making things that are fun. They're just focusing on entertainment. And if you just focus on entertaining the audience, that's all you really need to do. But see, now you've got The Last of Us 2 being pretentious, right? Oh, we're going to make this woke thing. We're going to do this thing. We're going to preach to people. You've got every movie studio on earth preaching to everybody with every movie that they make. And all people want to do is sit down there like, I just want to relax, watch a movie, be entertained. Give me a story. Give me some good acting. Give me some guns. Give me some naked people. This is fine. So, anyway, that's that. All right, let's hit these chats and then we'll wrap up the show. Funny Valentine 2024 says, Necromunda Hired Guns out. You going to stream it? Yep. Right after this, we're switching up the Twitch schedule this week. So Necromunda will be Monday, Wednesday. And then the movie night will be Tuesday, Thursday. Mario Carter 13 says, equal rights and equal lefts. Hashtag Kamala Commandos. Angry Bathing says, oi, Nick, hired gun is mediocre crap. Play Doom Eternal's DLC instead, which you also said you didn't like. You'll still die a lot, but it's so much more fun. No, I don't want to. Greg Hansen says, I got married on Sunday. It was a great day. Thanks for being a great example of a family man. Oh, thanks, Greg. Congratulations to you, buddy. I wish you many, many long and fruitful years. Gentleman Sausage says, CIA, what would happen if I gouged your bread? Bane, it would be extremely delicious. C, it's a big sandwich. For you. Not So Handsome Jack says, so when are we going to establish straight, white, cis, hetero Pride Month, Nick? We need our Pride year now. Squishy Hunter says, Nick, all right, time to be on time. Streamlabs, anata wa mo chikoku desu. Something Japanese. Taco Jones says, Nick, have you checked your junk folder for an email? I don't know. I've got a lot of emails that I haven't responded to. G-Man says, you know, it was really entertaining. Berserk, but the author Kentaro Miura is dead now. God. I hadn't heard that. That's too bad. Josh Gaming says, the boomer who lives in a house should only pass stone. Kidney. Oh, God. No, don't pass kidney stones. Oh, fuck that. Automata says, Andrew Sullivan has a funny quote along those lines. I used to be gay. Now I'm just cis. PG says, perhaps depopulation is a good thing. Hyper Ala Philly says, you often talk about how most stories are bad. I was curious what stories you think are good and why, as I'm writing a book for the first time. Okay. Read Ilium and Olympus. And if you, there's a whole lot of good story in there. And not just from the book itself. You'll understand. Christopher Gary says, this is all sick, amoral, and weird, and I'm sick of having to pretend to be accepting of it. When does it end? I don't know. Darius Hunter, welcome to paralegal status. Much obliged. Mario Carter 13 says, Monica signs barf bags when stripping at the mall. Russell Wallace Warren says, I can't quit you. Thank you for your service, sir. Hey, thanks, buddy. He also says, morons give money to the NRA and they don't read law. Oh, I feel your pain. Short, weensy law guy, brother. RK Igloo says, Minecraft tyrants, Minecraft redcoats, deport Tories. Russell Wallace Warren says, ow, our balls. Lamer 5799 says, this is 1619 BS. Yes, the 1619 project is definitely influencing Carol Anderson's work. Sage Emerald says, have a great day, Nick. Hey, you too. Might have to move to the Kenosha area Dune soon. For work, it says Dune. I assume you mean soon. For work, pray for me and my family in the likely boating accident. Chuck Ross says, she's right. Since the founding, the Dems have always been against blacks having rights. P.S. Found you through my bro. We bonded over the hatred of Legal Eagle. Well, thank you. Thank you for coming here, and I hope you and your brother, or your bro, if it's not actually like a biological brother, but just a bro, I hope you all hate Legal Eagle with me forever. Russell Wallace Warren says, my dead troops appreciate you for not practicing law, but giving it away free USA style. Persona Non Grata says, hey, Nick, happy Memorial Day. Wishing you and your family peace and love. Hey, thanks, buddy. Russell says, gee, wonder why a Capitol police officer had a stroke. He also says, I designed counter missile systems. Who cares about Captain Save a Ratchet Floyd? I do feel bad for big guys, really. Russell says, my ancestors are Dutch. Hitler did the opposite of rescuing blondes ogres. And he also says, lawyers forget the no case files. Zachary Nyhuseman says, how does the draft work with trans people? Do bio males have to register if they identify as female and vice versa? Is it based on sex or gender? I think biological sex, but I don't know. Russell says, frivolous men deserve zero respect. Fans, not you, Mr. Ricada. Face Lord says, I haven't heard you mention the fact that gun control began as a way to keep freed slaves from arming themselves. Literally the beginning of U.S. gun control. You're right. I didn't mention that. But that's a very, very good point. Gun control measures were largely passed to stop blacks from owning guns. Uy 99 says, please ban the political Latino. He's a bot. We worked it out. It turns out he's not a bot. He was just copying what people said and tagging me with what they said, which is weird, but apparently not a bot. By the way, we're at 911 likes. Hashtag never forget on that. But, at 1,000 likes, I will decide to take another drink. Russell Wallace Warren says murder is in the eye of the beholder. I don't know about that. Lorgar Apologist says wolves and bears and grizzlies. I'm doubling the captain in my soda. Please pray God takes me, Nick. I can't stand this world. Joking, but damn. No, yes. Never take your own life. Never quit. But no, I get what you mean. I really do. Yell says, yo, Tina, if you need a shoulder to cry on, mine are quite broad. Real talk. Hope he does okay. Keep him smiling. I've been on that bed. Helps to laugh. Oh, there we go. There's the likes. Not so handsome Jack says, only a racist would think the second excludes blacks. Democrats. All right, we'll switch to this Kentucky Owl Bourbon, which is a sad substitute for the rye. My whiskey shelf may look thin, but I've got a couple new bottles upstairs. Matt Fields says, Petty Officer, 2nd Class Leonard Ode Blagg, U.S. Navy, World War II, August 17th, 1942. Rest in peace. Cheers, brother. Uy 99 says, never mind, political Latino isn't a bot, he's just dumb. Heinrich Berndowski says, the funny thing about people bring up knife crime is that the UK has fewer homicides with sharp objects than the US. 0.1 per 100,000 fewer, to be precise. Not so handsome Jack says, the English showed us how slave-making chats they were. Emily Wooten says, haven't been here long. Late to your party, Nick. Have you mentioned Houston hospital workers suing over vaccine mandates? I have not. I don't know if I can talk about it on YouTube, which is stupid. I'll have to look into it, though. Physicality Channel says 3 days ago, a female cop here in San Francisco was dominated by a hobo, and it's on video. IG Asian Dawn somewhere. DJ Ray, I've got the 1,000 like drink. I've been drinking it already. Joel Reese, thank you for the donation. Poorly redacted. Says, just picked up Necromunda Hire Gun. Thanks for shouting it out, my guy. Cheers. Mario Carter says, insulting the rich is a death penalty offense when the rich is Kyrie Irving. DCV Titan says, as a black man in the NBA, read as, in an industry where I'm in the 98% representation, let me tell you what it's like being minority in the industry. Some internet dude says, Cyberpunk is like my dad. It came and left. Uy 99 says, Cyberpunk is exactly like real life transhumanism, just like the game is based on. You think it's going to be amazing, but it's all just dumb glitches. Lol. Let's see. Bat Gamer Show says, hi, Ricada. Is my store logo in fair use? The real Bat store? Thanks. Maybe. I don't know. Trademarks are kind of extra funky, but probably I'm not a trademark attorney. But if you want to email me about it, we could talk a little bit, and I might have to direct you to someone else. All right. Bad Dragon Knight says, unironically still love Cyberpunk. Are you sure that's legal? Of course it's legal. The Second Amendment says so. Still the best quote in gaming. Angry Baneling says, StarCraft, greater than Cyberpunk 2077, greater than Hired Gun. It's true. See, now I know you're either trolling or just retarded. Lone Wolf Ranger says, Sony screwed up by not having enough PS5s. Totally ruined a year and a half of game rollouts. I don't think, you know what, like, to give Sony and Microsoft some credit here, the chip shortage came for all. The chip shortage came for everybody. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not letting them off the hook. Video game or console manufacturers have figured it out that scarcity increases perceived value. But I don't think, like, so I think they, you know, they always under order at the start. First of all, it's safe. Second of all, like I said, scarcity bolsters perceived value. So they start off that way, but then the chip crisis hit and they haven't been able to catch up. Angry Bellsprout, I've never watched I've never watched Old Boy. I want to, but I never watched it. Automata says, gotta freeze that water bottle Portland style. Linda Marie says, I sent you a Dad in Kentucky's bumper stickers. I saw it to your email. Brace yourself. You thought Madonna was bad? Lol, our country is screwed. I'll check it out. Kidda says, CD Projekt Red is suffering from a rot of Theseus problem. If you look at the CDPR team, it's all imported rainbow hairs from California. Original Witcher teams are gone. Same as BioWare, Blizzard, etc. Joel Reese says, Hades, Valheim, Dyson Sphere program, $60. Mario Carter 13 says, if the game isn't fun, why bother? Reggie. Bad Dragon Knight says, also to be fair, CD Projekt Red got tons of shizen for delays. They should have delayed it more. They should have delayed it forever. Gaku says, I finished the Rubric Marines to go with my Sorcerer Nick. Not sure what I'm going to be painting next since this took me a little over 2 months. It takes forever. It takes forever. I haven't painted shit in a while. Shadow Goof says, I just watched the A-Team before work. No regrets. Yeah, buddy. Tyler Wiesbrod says, exhausted old man is your best stream theme. So, okay. Yeah. That's just how I feel. All right. Angry Bell Sprout, thank you for the donation. I saw your chat earlier. All right, guys. That's it. Get out of here. Get the hell out. We're going to move over to Twitch. We'll play some Necromunda Hired Gun. Come check it out. And watch me fail at what should be an easy game. So, there you go. See you there. Hope you guys have a nice day. Peace.
Oh, he drinks a fair bit, but you realize that it just helps get his noggin jogging along. With his glass by his side and his kids asleep tight, we'll hear some law-splaining tonight. With his microphone muted, we'll laugh at this boomer until he explains it's all part of the plan. Watch his face become redder as he becomes meta, raging at idiots from Twitterland. From the white shores of Maine to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed to make the law what we have now. Oh, his lady is fair, and she handles herself with the grace of one who has borne many children. As the wife of a lawman, she makes sure that he has the time and the place to provide for them there. So pour out an art bag, a bow, more of love rug. The spirits flow as the ones who get unemployed. So pour out a glass for the tea, post on Twitter as we hear Lost Planning tonight. From the wide shores of Nam to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the wrong better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed to make the law what we are now. Oh, the guests are all plentiful, from Doug T to Drexel. They bring their perspective and spice to the mix. But the reason we're here and the one that we cheer is the one who is showcasing us his career. Get unemployed. So pour out a glass for the tea, post on Twitter as we hear Lost Planning tonight. From the wide shores of Nam to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the wrong better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed to make the law what we are now.